This video is sponsored by momAgenda. I used to have this favorite pair of jeans that I'd wear like every single day. They weren't super expensive, they were just normal jeans. But after years of wearing them, they had gotten so soft and fit so well that I really didn't want to wear anything else. That's how I describe momAgenda. They don't make a ton of layout or design changes, but honestly, I think that's one of their biggest strengths. You don't want to go out and buy a new pair of jeans because your favorite ones feel so comfy and perfect. Take good care of your favorite jeans, by the way, because they aren't easy to replace. But our planners, we have to replace every single year. I've got a bunch of new momAgenda planners from their brand new launch. Let me show you why momAgenda is still one of my all-time favorite planners while we look through all their beautiful new covers and talk about all the different options that they have. You may have seen all these pens out here and highlighters. These are what I used for my pen testing and momAgenda. I'm going to show you those pen testing pages and we're going to talk all about the paper. You guys, I am in love with these color options. Look how beautiful and happy they are. And I have the big home office edition too. We're going to talk all about the differences in the 12-month versus the 18-month, the myAgenda line versus the momAgenda line, the different sizes they come in. But you guys, this is kind of a big year for momAgenda too. This is their 20th anniversary. They have been helping moms stay organized for 2 decades now. And this newest collection, they are calling Jewel Tones. And I am in love with the ones I picked, as well as their fan favorite snake print is also back. These planners are tried and true, and they help you while you're juggling work, kids, and home. But if you don't have kids or you're almost an empty nester, do not think that momAgenda is not for you. Honestly, I still loved and used momAgenda, but there also is a myAgenda line, and I will tell you about all the differences. So it's not just for moms. These colors that I got, we have here is the Emerald Python in the mini. I have the Pink Peony in the myAgenda desktop. I have the Raspberry in the momAgenda desktop. And I have this beautiful Ocean Teal in the Home Office edition. First up, we're going to go over the layout in momAgenda, and then we're going to compare the myAgenda and the momAgenda, and let me show you the differences in those. And you're going to want to stick around because at the end, I'm going to show you my momAgenda that is all written all over, all scratched out, completely used up. And I'm going to show you how I tweaked the page to work for me because they have such a versatile page layout. I absolutely love it. You can make it into anything that you need it to be. And if you're thinking of picking up any planners from this video and you're not already supporting another creator, consider using my affiliate link when you purchase. It only takes a couple of seconds and it supports me more than you'd think. So as you can see, whether you go with the myAgenda line or the momAgenda line in your desktop edition, it is a nice 7x9 bound planner. It has a vegan leather cover that is very durable. It has some texture to it. You might even be able to see. And it has a little bendability, but it's not super bendable. You're not going to be able to bend it all the way over. So it's a really nice in the middle. They don't have pockets in the front or back of their planner. They do have this little ribbon that holds a paper in here for you, but they have pockets you can add to any planner. They also have tabs that you can add. They have a really nice pen holder that I've shared in other videos before that slips right on the top of your planner. So just so you know, there might be some accessories that you want to pick up with your momAgenda order. The biggest difference between your momAgenda and your myAgenda line, and this is the thing I think people get the most confused on and want to see a comparison side by side of, is the paper color. So in your myAgenda line, these 4 boxes down here are not labeled kids. You do have the word kids down here in your momAgenda line, but that's easy to ignore. So the biggest difference is the paper color. This paper is, as you can see, very cream, and this paper is very white. On the cream, you have a dark gray print. On the white, you have a gray for your dates all outlined there, but your lines are all light blue, which really reminds me of notebook paper and gives me the school vibe, which honestly, I love. It makes it different than any planner line out there. It adds a little bit of color to your page, and I personally am a big fan of it. So I would pick based on the paper color that you like. They're both 70-pound paper, and we're going to talk about pen testing. But I would say that even though they're both 70-pound paper, the cream feels a little bit smoother, and the white has a tiny bit of tooth to it. Not a lot. It's not a toothy paper, but it's just The white has a little bit more tooth to it and the cream is a little bit more smooth. They both have the exact same layout though. So when we go through the layouts, they're exactly the same. And the only difference in your pages up front in the myAgenda is you don't have the extra kids information pages here up front. So when we go through the info pages in the momAgenda, you'll see the extra pages for kids. Those are not in the myAgenda line. And your end pages for the myAgenda are their little gray dot on there. And for the momAgenda, it's always your pink dot. So those are the main differences between your myAgenda line and your momAgenda line. myAgenda line only comes in the desktop 7x9 and your mini, which is a 5x7. I don't have the current prices for the new planners coming out right now, but last year this one was $44 and your desktop was $46.95. So I'm sure they're going to be around that, which I think are really good prices for these planners. These are all 18 months, but they also have 12-month options now. So we're going to talk about that too, but we're also going to talk about the advantages of an 18-month. If you are purchasing from momAgenda, do not forget to use my 15% off code. You guys, you can use it over and over again on every single purchase. And I also have an affiliate link. When you click through my affiliate links to make your purchases, you support my channel more than you know. All right, let's get into this 18-month momAgenda. We'll compare it to the 12-month. We're going to go through everything so you understand their whole line and you can make the best choice for you. All right, so this is probably their most popular planner. This is the one they're known the most for. This is the one that I've used and loved myself. So this is their 18-month momAgenda desktop edition. It goes from July of 2025 all the way through the end of the 2026 year. That makes it amazing for school planning for moms, you guys. You are not switching planners at the busiest time of year during the Christmas season when you're trying to straddle two planners. We've all felt it. And also, the other advantage is when the school year starts, you have the entire school year in here to go ahead and put all those concerts, all those school events, everything going on. You have it in your planner. And then you also have the extra 6 months after that to basically pre-plan. Like I would start a new planner every year in the academic year with momAgenda is what I would do. But you always have those extra 6 months at the end for pre-planning and writing things in. So you're never without that ability to plan ahead and feeling like you have to straddle two planners and you don't have anywhere to write something down. So that is the real advantage of the 18-month planner. I don't have a 12-month planner from this line, and I'm honestly not sure if they're going to release academic year 12-month planners or if they're just going to release calendar year, but I know that they are releasing 12-month planners again, and they said they were going to order more because they sold out so quickly. But this is the difference in thickness. There's not a huge difference, you guys. Yes, it is 6 months less in there, but I personally would probably choose the 18-month. And this is just a personal preference, so it's something you have to think about because I like having that extra pre-planning in there. So unless you really need to lighten your book, if you really want the lightest, the most compact, this definitely is lighter, it's thinner. And so if you need that, then you're going to want to go for their 12-month. But this is their 18-month academic year one. It takes you all the way through the end of 2026. Doesn't that just feel good to already be covered in your planner? You have 2 satin ribbons with every momAgenda planner. They pass the ribbon test, you guys. They are pink in the momAgenda and they are off-white in the myAgenda line. Okay, we're going to quickly go through these info pages at the beginning. You have your nameplate page. You have a letter from the founder of momAgenda, Nina. And I actually got to remember when I did my planner chats here on my channel? We'll link that video down below. I got to have a planner chat with Nina. I did not know her at all, you guys. And I loved our chat and getting to know her and how she started momAgenda, especially now that they have made it 20 years, you guys. There's not a lot of planner companies that are still big that have been around for 20 years. If you think about it, they talk to you about how to use their planner page, give you different ideas and scenarios. I like how they give you a filled in page here, kind of thinking how they design the planner. But once again, the page is very versatile and you can use it however you would wish. You have family member information important phone numbers. So you have lots of info pages up here, important phone numbers, all by category. And once again, important phone numbers continued. So if you like to keep all that in your planner, you've got all this here. And if you don't need that in your planner, then you don't have to worry about it. I love how there's light pink lines on this front. So it differentiates it from your back pages with the blue lines, and it kind of has a pinkish hue to the whole page. You have car information here, websites and passwords, adults medical information, kids medical information, which once again won't be in your myAgenda. Birthdays and anniversaries page. So you have the whole year here for birthdays and anniversaries. And then you have what gift each anniversary is down here. And you have for birthdays, zodiac signs and symbols and birthstones and flowers, all right here, which is pretty nice. You don't have to go look it up or search for it. Holidays you have for 25, 26, and 27 all outlined. Since this covers 25 and 26, you have your whole year at a glance for 25, your whole year at a glance for 26, which you can easily mark with mild-liners or highlighters to mark maybe vacations or days off school. Then you go into your monthly layouts. Now, this is something that makes momAgenda a little bit unique, is that all their monthly spreads are up front, even in a dated planner. Now, that makes it a little bit kind of like the Hobonichi. There are not very many other planners, I feel like, other than the Japanese ones, and those influenced by them, by Hobonichi, that have all your months up front. And there are some advantages to that. You can easily flip through every month. All your 18 months are up here. That actually makes sense to me. So it just depends on how you work, because that's why I use a separate monthly planner. You guys know I do. I use a little monthly notebook planner because this is the way I like to plan my months. I like to be able to flip through all my months really easily up front and see everything. And so that makes your big picture monthly planning all together. You're not flipping weirdly through your whole book. So I totally see the reason why some planners are designed this way. And you have light lines on your monthly boxes, which helps you to be able to write more neatly and fit more in a box. It is a Monday start for your monthly and also a Monday start for your weekly. But for those of you who I've heard it's hard to have a Monday start on your monthly, I used to be that way. But now, you guys, I actually like it, and I might even prefer it because I've just gotten used to it. I outline my weekend with like a mild liner color for the month like this. I just box it in, and then my mind just remembers that's my weekend right there together. And it is making more and more sense to me to have the weekend together and have a Monday start, which matches your weekly. So those are just some thoughts. You have your coming in and going out in light gray. You have your holidays on the top line in a gray, and you have a big note section here, blue lined. You have a quote on every month. Did I mention you have your last month and your next month at a glance up there? You could definitely cover this up with washi tape if you wanted to decorate it. I cover up the weekly quotes that way just because I like decoration. But there is room up here too for if you want to write a quote or something else. So all your 18 months are all up front here. I also want to mention, this was the first time I opened this book to pen test it. And you guys, you just do your spine a little bit like that and it lays completely flat. These books really do work well laying completely flat. Like I said, I've used one for a good amount of time, like at least 6 months in a row as my personal planner. So it got used and abused, and it did great lying flat for me. All right, when you get to the end of your monthly layouts, which once again, I did tell you that they do sell tabs, so you could add those on. But honestly, if I was buying the tabs, I'd probably add them on for the weekly if you wanted to be able to flip to find weekly quickly, because I don't really feel the need for tabs up here when all your months are in a row. And I did not add tabs when I used momAgenda. I did not feel the need. It was easy because I don't go and pre-plan and fill out stuff in my weeks way in advance. I only do that on monthly layouts. So I just flip to the next week and would plan as I'm going. I did not need tabs, and I love the way the book looks and feels, the rounded corners without the tabs on there, but that's just me. All right, here is our pen test on their 70-pound paper. I even used a fountain pen, you guys, really dark mild liner, dark Papermate flare, and here is how their 70-pound paper held up. You can see that you might see a little bit of ghosting, but really hardly, I really don't call that hardly any ghosting at all. You will feel a little bit of indentation, especially depending on which pen you use. You'll see that in my really well-used planner. You will feel a little indentation, but not a lot. It's a 70-pound paper, like I said, that is pretty smooth. I wouldn't call it toothy, but when comparing it to the cream paper, it has like a tiny bit of tooth to it, but it takes all pens and markers really well. Now let's take a look at just their basic weekly layout, which is in every single one of their planners. You have a section here labeled My Week, which you could put anything you want there, but it was usually my top 3 for the week. But you could put, your list for the week. You could put a quote there. You could put a gratitude. You could fill it in with good things for the week. It is labeled up here what week of the year you're on. And there is a big header up here. And what I would do is I actually covered this up with washi tape because I liked adding in some feel for whatever month it was, whatever holiday, added some color to the page. I'll show you that at the end. So you can do whatever you want with that. The versatility of this spread is that you do have 4 boxes for up to 4 kids. But if you don't have 4 kids or you don't need to use it on your kids, I've heard people say it's a box for their dog to keep track of their dog's meds and walks and stuff. So one could be for a pet or more than one. A box could be for work if you work part-time and you don't need that much room for your work. A box could be for your workout. A box could be, many people have used them for habits and things like that, like workout, vitamins, your pet. So if you don't have 4 kids that you need to keep track of, there are so many other things in our life in different categories to be able to keep track of in there. Your last little box is dinner down here. If you didn't want to use that for dinner, that could be your weather for the day. That could be your gratitude for the day. So don't feel like you ever have to follow a planner for how it's made. I always say this, think outside the box. Think about what you need out of a planner. The planner is there to serve you. You're not there to serve the planner. So use it how you need and how it helps you and brings you joy. And if you look at just the overall feel of the page with the blue ink, like I said, it brings back to school vibes. The fonts and everything I feel jives with that. And I just really like the feel of it. So that is the flow. Your weeks just flow like that. There is nothing in between them because all your months are up front. And up here, you could do a work to-do list if you're working full time. And down here, one of these boxes could be home, housework, or phone calls you need to make. Things like that. It could even be just a kid's work schedule there to keep track of, or it could be your kids' projects, when things are due or what you need them to do that day, maybe not even events they're at. So think about all the different ways you could use that. When you get to the end of the momAgenda desktop, you have some really great pre-planning back here. So even though you've already got the 18 months, you've got the 6 month ahead of pre-planning, you have 2027 completely pre-planned back here. Every single month, your weekends are in light gray. Your holidays are already put on there for you. I actually really love this pre-planning look, and I think it can be so helpful for those busy moms who are planning way ahead. Then you have, I believe it's about 20 pages of notes, it said on the website, and it has a purple tint, a lavender light tint to this paper, and those light purple lines to go with it. I like the way that changes. It's different from any other planner, you guys. It makes it a little bit different, a little bit unique in that way. And that is the end of your momAgenda. It feels very good in hand, and I love this raspberry cover. Now, we already went over the myAgenda paper differences, but I just wanted to show you the pen test in the myAgenda so you can see kind of what pen looks like in here. The layout is exactly the same as you see holidays up here. The quote is the same. Your previous month and your next month, everything this is the same, but the word kids is not here. And those few pages up front that said kids on them, kids information and stuff, that's not in here, but everything else is. So that is the difference in the myAgenda versus the momAgenda. And some people might just prefer cream paper and cream ribbons, right? And not the pink end pages. And you might pick myAgenda over the momAgenda line because of that. But here is the pen test page in the myAgenda, and you can see a little bit more ghosting on the cream paper, I feel like. So take that into account, but absolutely no bleed through. Let's take a look at the myAgenda Mini. Here is the size difference. The myAgenda Mini is 5x7. And once again, the desktop is 7x9. So that's the difference. This is the cutest little mini book. You guys, there's not very many planners that are 18 months that are this size, like this layout. This is a pretty unique offering. So you have all your months up here. You do have to give it a little bit of a bend, you guys, when you first get it, especially the smaller the book. It takes a little bit more to get it to stay open, but it does lay flat like that, as you can see. And mine, I left flat out on my desk all the time. So it really got to where it just laid completely open, but I didn't have the mini. Okay, so your monthly layout, exactly the same with lines. You go into your weekly layout. It does not say kids. It's the same weekly layout. And you guys, your line spacing is the same, whether it's in the mini or the big one. I feel like it's exactly a 1/2 centimeter, which is just a tiny bit under 1/4 of an inch. And so they did not reduce the line spacing, which is good to know in the mini, because in some planners, when they shrink them down, they do that. So you still have the line spacing, the same line spacing that you would have in the bigger 7x9. So there's just going to be less lines there. You can see there's only 2 lines in here, whereas there's 3 lines in here. You're gonna have less lines just because of the page reduced. You have your same notes pages at the end, your same pre-planning at the end. You have your cream ribbons. So everything's the same. It's just a mini offering. And this is the Emerald Python. It's really beautiful and it has that texture on there. It says your year on the side and the momAgenda stamp and nothing on the back. The last full one for us to go through before I share my planner with you is the momAgenda Home Office Edition. Now, this one is different. This one does not come in 18 months. It comes in only 12 months, and it's either academic year or calendar year. I have the academic. This is the ocean teal. It's this beautiful coated linen. It's like waterproof. Everything will just slough right off of it because moms need to have a waterproof cover, right? You have a gold coil, nothing on the back. It's a beautiful look and texture, gold foiling there on the front. When you open this one is the only one that does come with a pocket. It's a big accordion pocket. It can hold a whole lot in there. This one is 9x11, you guys, so huge pages. Everything is the same up front in this one. So all those information pages are all up front. The kids pages are in here. So even though this is the cream paper, the home office edition only comes in the cream paper, it does have the kids information in here. And it is under a tab section labeled essentials. Then you have your 25 and 26 year at a glance and a tab on your monthly layout. It's the same paper on your monthly layout page, tabbed page, but your tab is laminated on both sides and very thick. I don't think you're gonna have any problem with the tab. So you have huge monthly boxes here, huge note section. And if I'm measuring right, these lines are a tad bit bigger. These lines are exactly 1/4 of an inch, whereas the other lines are just under 1/4 of an inch at a 1/2 centimeter. So if you write bigger, you're gonna have bigger lines in here. And this one is different, as you'll notice, in that your months are dispersed throughout. So you go to your monthly page and then you go into all your weeks for the month. Look at all this space, you guys. Look at this. I feel like if you use this, if you're someone who likes to have a full week at a glance at all times and a daily planner does not work for you, but you need lots of list room to work off of, I feel like this could cover all your planning needs because it is huge. You still have rounded corners. You have the 4 kids boxes, but once again, you can use those for anything you wish. You have your My Week section and your section up here, your biggest section for lists or your daily schedule, and then your 4 boxes down here, and then your dinner box, your previous month and your next month at a glance. Oh no, this is July. So you have your previous month and the month you're on up here. And I feel like I was saying that wrong in the other book because you have the month you're on, because that one was the going from one month to the next. So let me make sure I give this info to you straight. You have the month you're in, and then you have your next month. You have the month you're in and your next month. That is the same flow for all these books. That first page was just different because we were switching from June to July. So you have huge amounts of planning pages, huge monthly layouts here, and all the holidays noted on there. Goes from July 2025 through the end of August 2026. So they have thrown in 2 extra months here and given you a 14-month planner, which is really nice too. Then you have a tabbed page here for your notes. It's just the gray lines for your note pages at the end here. I don't think there's as many pages in here as the desktop edition, which was 20. My guess on this is it's probably about 10 or 15 pages, but it's still a good amount of notes room. You have another pocket at the back here, accordion pocket, and then that is your home office edition. You can see even though it's big in size, it's not really thick, so it's not too heavy. And if you have it sitting on your desk and you're always going to have it say turned to one side or the other, I think it's still very doable for most people on their desk to have this size. So that's something to think about. Which size works for you best? What color of paper? Do you like a coil or a bound book? Okay, before I show you how I plan, that's all that was in their lineup that they sent me in the new lineup. This is in their new lineup, but this is from last year. I just wanted to show you that they have this option because I still have it. It's called the momAgenda Spiral. And I did review this in last year's review video. So if you want details on this one, the same layout, but in this nice little coiled spiral option, we will link the last year's review video down there in the description so that if you're interested in this one, you can find out all the details on it and know that it is also available this year. And here's the size difference between the 7x9. They're almost the same page size. It's just the coil that hangs over there. All right, this is when I was using momAgenda, and this got so well used. I'm just going to flip through here a little bit so I can show you that you can really use this any way you wish to. And look how much color I added to the pages. I loved having the seasonal washi up there. There is also just enough room above the date there to add seasonal washi, which I really like having because it just makes me happy. Here's where I started. And so each week I kind of played around with where was best to draw my lines. As you can tell, each week was a little bit different as I was figuring it out. But I loved having my weekly list down here with different categories. I just ignored the lines coming down the middle. I drew my own lines with Tombow markers or mild liners. That's exclusively what I use to draw my lines in here. I always did my top 3 for the week over there, as you can tell, and it helped keep me really focused. And as every day went by, I could continually see my weekly lists and continually be able to work on them. I loved how much space there was for all the different categories. Like I said, I just ignored those lines down the middle, and because they're light blue, I feel like they're a little bit easier to ignore, and drew wherever I needed my own lines, depending on how many lists I was making that week. I also kind of made categories up here at different times for like work tasks or home tasks. And then these would be appointments. So those were divided into sections too. And always my top 3 there. Some of my list categories were errands, orders, email, call, text, and just basic to-dos there. As you can tell, this was a very busy time in my life, and this planner really held it all at only the 7x9 page size. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time in here, and you can see how fun just using the markers to draw my lines and sticking the seasonal washi tape up there, how that made every page feel different. And you can see how I started dividing out the week different down here depending on what I had going on that week and what kind of lists that I did need that week. So every week looked very different, but it served me really well. I put my weather down here for this week. And as you can tell, I have to mark everything out with a marker, and it did not bleed through. That's an Erin Condren dual tip marker. It did not bleed through. It did not bother me. I didn't see marker coming through. It didn't look like my next week was dirty or messed up. And so this was how I used the momAgenda planner when I was in it. And you can see how flat it laid, because once you keep it continually laid flat on your desk, it just gets like more and more used to laying open. And you can tell how just using different colors for the different seasons and months makes it feel so very different. And as I go back and look through here, here's a little setup that I didn't use so you can see it just set up. I remember how much I loved being in here and how it served me really well. And see, it looks so different from just a blank page when you go to see my setup. So this page is really versatile. I just wanted to show you how I used it. If you are making a purchase, do not forget to use my code Amanda's Favorites for 15% off every single momAgenda purchase. And please click through their website with my affiliate link. You still sign into your account. Everything looks the same on the website. You won't even be able to tell a difference, but it shows them how many people I bring to them, and I make a small percentage of your sale. Thank you for helping me keep my channel going. I want to wish you guys all a good week where wherever you are in your week, you're doing a great job if no one's told you. Write down something that's gone well this week, a win that you've had. Let's all take a deep breath together in through your nose. You guys, everything's going to be okay. You're doing a great job. Get outside if you can and take a walk. Nature is healing and it changes your perspective. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.